Fresh off the Olympics, we head to Montreal for an ATP 1000 event. It is the Canadian Open, and it gets started today. What's up, everybody? It's John Eric Poli, and at the time this video is being released, it is day one of the Canadian Open. Going to be a fun tournament, and if you guys watched the video I posted yesterday on the women's side of things, you would see that there was a number of athletes that had to pull out just due to participating in the Olympics. They wanted to withdraw from this tournament, which is a shame. Hopefully we'll see those guys back on the court sooner rather than later. Now, on the men's side of things, which we're featuring in this video, not the case, but we do miss a few big names. So we're going to start with the people not participating in this year's Canadian Open. Let's get started with the Olympic gold medalist Novak Djokovic. Djokovic going to take this year's tournament off. Of course, just having that great showing in the Olympic Games. Congratulations to Novak Djokovic. And again, well, I'm sure we're going to see him on the courts sooner rather than later, especially being on the hard courts, his specialty. Also, guys, joining him, another big name here is Carlos Alcaraz. As you guys know, Alcaraz, red hot as of late. Alcaraz, winner of the French Open, winner of Wimbledon, and the Olympic silver medalist. He's been playing a lot of tennis as of late. Definitely needs the break here. And again, sure, we're going to get him back on the courts very, very, very soon. Also, two other big names here not participating. One of the top players in the world, Alex de Minaur. He's having a very good 2024. Has been pretty steady overall here in the course of this year. He will not be participating in this year's Canadian Open. And Lorenzo Musetti, coming off a Wimbledon semi and coming off an Olympic bronze medal. He is not going to participate in this year's Canadian Open. But again, I'm sure both of those guys will be back sooner rather than later. All right, so now that leaves us with who's in. Good news. A lot of big names in play here for this year's tournament. Let's start with the number one overall seed, and he is the world number one. That is Jannik Sinner, the Italian. Great 2024. Back to the hard courts, which is definitely his bread and butter. Look for Sinner to make some deep runs, especially here with the likes of Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic. With all those guys not participating, big chance here for Sinner to get another one back in the win column and build some serious momentum towards the U.S. Open. Also, guys, want to talk about Alexander Zverev. Zverev, of course, is entered into this year's tournament. Let's see if Zverev can make up for a bad Olympic Games showing, in all honesty. I know Musetti's been red hot recently, but Zverev lost to Musetti there in the quarterfinals. A lot of people, myself included, had high hopes for Zverev on the clay courts in the Olympic Games, but doesn't capitalize there. Let's see what he does now here on the hard courts, and a guy that's been very good on the hard courts too throughout his career. Speaking of guys that are very good on hard courts, this guy's won a major championship on the hard courts. Matter of fact, his one major championship is a U.S. Open. That's Daniil Medvedev. Medvedev, like I said, very good on the hard courts. He's entered into this year's Canadian Open. Definitely be one of the favorites to win the championship this year. Look out for Medvedev here in this tournament. A few other names to get to, guys. I'm going to get through these guys kind of really quickly here. I'll just say a few quick words about all these guys. We'll get it started with Stefanos Tsitsipas, a guy that just lost to Novak Djokovic in the quarterfinals of the Olympic Games. Always, whenever he's on top of his game, he could compete with anybody. But as you guys know, been some ups and downs here in 2024. Let's see if he could build any sort of momentum here in this tournament. Andrey Rublev, another guy that's been steady throughout his career, but having an awful 2024. He does have a win at the Madrid Open, and outside of that ATP 1000 win, it's been bad the whole rest of the year. Let's see if he could do something here in this year's tournament. Grigor Dmitrov, been pretty steady throughout 2024. He's entered into this year's tournament. Coming off a semifinal appearance, losing the bronze medal match in the Olympic Games is Felix Aliassime in his home country of Canada. I'm sure I have a big fan base there for the tournament. Let's see if he could do something with the hometown crowd behind his back. And then finally, guys, just want to end with three Americans that are entered into this year's tournament. Three guys that should have the games to do something on the hard courts here. That is Taylor Fritz, who I thought left some meat on the bones in the Olympics there. I thought he would have a little bit better of a showing than what he had. Tommy Paul, pretty decent showing in the Olympics. He's having a very, quietly good 2024. Paul's been playing very good as of late. I don't think a guy that's getting enough credit as he probably deserves. And then, of course, Ben Shelton. We know last year, big coming out party at the U.S. Open, that big serve. Let's see if he could do anything in this year's tournament. So that is your entry list for this year's Canadian Open. Again, great ATP 1000 event. It's going to be a fun tournament to watch. A lot of big names still in it despite Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic not participating. So it's going to be a fun tournament. Can't wait to see how it's all going to play itself out in Montreal.